Hey, good morning, everyone. Yes, I know I'm wearing my pajamas and I have my Charlie Brown blanket on, um, but I want to welcome you to my morning. I know for you, this may not be morning. You may be watching this in the afternoon or whenever in the evening, maybe. But this is my morning, and I wanted to welcome you into my normal morning routine. You see, I always try to gather in the morning and usually try to do something to get my day started correctly. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't work. I spend a little bit of time uh, reading a devotional or something to kind of get me into the day. And, I used to think that was kind of a magic pill that would make your day be perfect for the rest of the day, but I've found that that's really not the case. Sometimes it is, but usually it's just a good way to start the day for me. So anyway, welcome to this morning, and I'm wondering as I start this morning what this day will bring, what it will bring for you and what it will bring for me. Is it going to be a good day or is it going to be a not so good day? When we start our days, sometimes we really don't have as much control over that as we wish we would. Oh, I know that there's this idea of, having a good attitude about things and really thinking positively and how that will make your day better. And I think that there is some truth in that, but let's be honest, sometimes no matter what we do, our days are not like we planned. We would love to have more control over what our day is like. We would like to have more power over what happens to us, but you know what? The truth is that we don't always have that. We don't always have control. We don't always know what this day will bring. We don't always know if this day is going to be a good day or if this day is going to be a really hard day. And that's the way these days are. In fact, as I was thinking about this and imagining this day or whatever the next day will be, I remembered this verse that I normally use this verse during like on a wedding day or something like that. Sometimes I use this as a start of a worship. But the verse is from Psalm 118:24. And that psalm and that verse says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." That's a great way to start the day. Just to hear that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. But you know what? Even that doesn't come with the promise that everything that's going to happen this day is going to be as you planned, in your control, in your power. I mean, did you hear that verse? It said, "This is the day that the Lord has made." And while we may think that the Lord will only make good days, we know that there has been some bad days as well. And if the Lord doesn't make each and every day, well, then who makes that day? Who makes that hard day? You see, the truth is, this is the day. Today is the day that the Lord has made, and tomorrow will be the day that the Lord has made as well. The good and the bad, the struggles and the challenges, the celebrations and the joys, all of those things are a part of the days that God has made. And we are molded and changed by those good things as well as those challenging things. Because it is the day that the Lord has made and the Lord has given to us. Now, I did a little bit of research on Psalm 118 before doing this devotional. And here's what I found. There is a collection of Psalms from Psalm 113 to Psalm 118 that are believed by most biblical scholars to be Psalms of the post-exilic period of Israel. Now, basically what that means is the Israelites who had lived in exile in Babylon, who had experienced this destroying of their culture, the destroying of the temple, Jerusalem falling to the Babylonians. They had experienced that and they'd been taken into exile, but we know that they returned from exile. God liberated them and they eventually moved back into Jerusalem. Eventually the temple was rebuilt. And in that period of time, it is believed that these psalms were written and then used in times of worship, and oftentimes probably used around meal celebrations or celebrations within the community. It's thought that the Psalms 113 and 14 were used specifically as a thanksgiving before a sacred meal would begin. But then the other Psalms, Psalms 15 through 18, 118, were used after the meal as in celebration and remembering of the victory that God gave Israel. In fact, 118, Psalm 118 is called a psalm of victory. And it talks about how God brought victory over the enemies of Israel. Now, here's the interesting thing. So I was reading on about this a bit, and it said if this was a psalm or a song that was sung after the Passover meal, after a meal of celebration, what if this was the actual psalm that Jesus read right at the end of the Passover meal that we know of as the Last Supper? Scripture tells us that they had been eating together, and when they were finished, they sang a song and they went out into the garden. And we know that in the garden, that was the place where Jesus prayed and then was eventually arrested. And so I was thinking about this. What if this was the psalm that the disciples and Jesus sang right after their Passover meal? What if they sang together, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." And then they went outside, and in the garden, Jesus was arrested. And then he was tried and he was crucified. Was that the day that the Lord has made? Was that what they had planned? It definitely was not something that was in their power or control. And of course, we know that 3 days later, Jesus resurrected, and we know too what that death has brought us. But the fact is, for those disciples as they were experiencing it, that day that the Lord has made was one that I know they were struggling to rejoice and be glad in. And sometimes that's how days go. Yeah, sometimes they're wonderful, the best day that you can ever imagine, and sometimes they are difficult. And they are challenging, and we're not sure if we're going to make it through it. But each of those days are days that the Lord has made, and the Lord is with us in the midst of those days. So, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. This is the day that the Lord has made. Whatever happened to you in this day, God was with you. Whether he was celebrating with you or whether he was weeping with you, it was the day that the Lord had made. And in time, even those good and even those struggling times, my hope and prayer is that they're understood. So if you're just starting your day, have a good day. If you're ending your day, I hope it was a good day. I am going to get on with my day. But I do hope that the day that the Lord has made will be your day. Thank you, and enjoy your day.